How's everybody doing? My name is David from Sarkman Gaming, and I wanted to come to you tonight with a video about the GameSpot short selling issue that's going on with the stock market. There's lots of trolls that are buying stock, lots of trolls holding stock, sometimes not trolls holding stock. Seems to be a small holy war going on right now in the stock market. Different apps are taking this in different ways, and I just wanted to talk to you all about it for a couple minutes from someone who doesn't really know much about the stock market but does own stocks themselves. So I think first thing we need to do is start with the verse of the day. That's always good to get in the word, and I wanted to do that at the beginning of my video. So today's verse from First Peter is, "However, if you suffer as a Christian, do not be ashamed, but praise God that you bear that name." Let's talk first about what a short sale even is. So if Sarkman Gaming was worth money, which it's not, it's worth about 2 bits. But I do own stock myself. I've never tried to short sale anyone, but this is my understanding of it from articles that I have read. Short selling something is if I were to buy your stock, let's say you have stock in Sarkman Gaming, it's worth $10 a share. So I'm going to offer to buy your stock, and in a month from now, I will return your stock to you with 10% tacked on to the end. So what I am hoping is going to happen in that month's time is that the stock is going to plummet. And then what happens at the end of a month is I return your stock to you, okay, with the 10%. So I'm going to take your stock, I'm going to sell it immediately. I'm going to buy it for 10, I'm going to sell it immediately, I'm going to get $10 for it. A month goes by, and let's say it loses half its value. So now it's 5. I'm going to buy that stock back for 5, and I'm going to give you your 10%. So for quick math, we'll just call it 6. So bought it back for 5. I'm going to give you an extra dollar. So I sold it for 10 immediately. I give you your 6, and then I get to pocket $4. So that's what short selling is. A simple explanation. Now, what happens though if the stock is actually worth more than I initially purchased it for? So you're essentially losing the bet. You gambled, lost. You ever lose a bet? I lost a bet. It happens. It happens. So I buy it for 10. I say I'm going to give it to you plus 10%. A month goes by, and Reddit happens, and now it's worth $300. So I owe you that stock back. Our time frame has elapsed when I have to give it back to you. Now I have to buy it at $300, and I'm going to give you that 10% back. So it's $330. I'm going to take a $320 loss. And that is essentially what is happening right now to GameStop. So a bunch of people from the subreddit Wallstreetbets have banded together against the hedge fund owners, and that's what they're doing now. They're buying up all the GameStop stock that they can get their hands on, and they're essentially fighting back against the hedge fund owners right now. I have to tell you, from a personal standpoint, it's hilarious. You go onto the Wallstreetbets subreddit, and it's just gifs galore of the GameStop stock. GameStop go burr, and just pie graphs all over the place. It's pretty hilarious. So some of the things that I don't agree with in short selling is that it really seems to lean one way. And there's a common slogan that I've heard growing up that is, "It takes money to make money." And unfortunately, I think that's true. That's what some of these hedge funds can do that you cannot. They can short sell in vast quantities. So technically, anybody can perform a short sale. However, these hedge funds can do it in such a large amount that they could bankrupt a business. The apps that you can use just on your phone, like Robinhood, are actually gating the amount of stock you can buy. Let's flip over to the website and look at some of this. So this was from a couple days ago. GameStop, which is GME. This is from Robinhood.com, saying that the shares you're allowed to buy now are only 20. So if you were to try and join the bandwagon and buy up all the stock that you can get your hands on, so that the short sales don't go through and the hedge funds end up losing money, You can only do it at 20 shares at a time now, and I disagree with that. If the hedge funds can buy as much as they want or can get their hands on or is readily available, then you should be able to do the same as a consumer. Granted, you're not going to be able to buy what they can buy, but a bunch of individuals that band together obviously can, and that's what we see happening now. This was a more recent one from Slash Gears reporting that the new update is 5 shares only you can buy now. And I also saw a report this morning in which Robinhood stated you can only buy one. So they're really gating what we as the consumer can do. Now, if you want to see exactly how much these hedge funds stand to lose, we can look at Melvin Capital, which is worth upwards of around $13 billion. And this is how what's happening has affected them. Currently, it stands at more than $8 billion they're worth, including emergency funding. That is down from the 13 billion, or in this case, 12.5 billion to be more specific. That's an absolute ton of money that they're losing on these short sales. Just because a bunch of people decided to band together as individual investors and stick it to the man is the phrase that I hear thrown around a lot. Now, if we go over to another article that I was reading today from independent.co.uk, that just goes over in summation what we've been talking about here about what is short selling, what's happening with GameStop, and why is this significant? Well, it's significant because we've never actually seen this in the private sector before, to my knowledge. In my recent memory, I can only remember hedge funds being able to have this kind of influence over the stock market. There's always been discussion of what if we all banded together? What would that look like? And we're seeing that right now. So one of the things that this current article mentions that really rubs me the wrong way is it sort of turns into an opinion piece down here. Let's see, GameStop story also raises some serious questions about the ethics and legality of colluding online to push up share prices. So while many will feel understandable satisfaction at the little guys delivering a message to Wall Street, those questions need to be answered. So I take issue with this about the ethics and legality of colluding online to push up share prices. Well, what about the ethics and legality of the hedge funds that do this all the time? And this is standard practice for them, isn't it? If you're wielding millions and billions of dollars and you can essentially do whatever you want. And that's what they do. They take a look at the market, they analyze the market to scrutinize in detail, and then they take a guess. I think the difference here is that if you gamble and you lose, that's just part of life. If that happens to you, you're going to get a handshake, a pat on the back, and then there's the door. But these hedge funds are going to be fine. They have the capability to leverage money. People are going to be able to bail them out. If Joe Redditor or Joe U thinks that they're doing the right thing and they want to partake and they buy some stock and they hold on to it in the hopes that this short goes through and the hedge funds lose money, in the end someone's getting screwed. And I just don't believe it's going to be the hedge funds. They're going to be able to make that money back. You may not be able to, though, however. So let's continue. There's just a couple more paragraphs here. So it says, it's worth remembering that short-term trading of shares is a zero-sum game, whether it's done by sharp-suited traders in a Canary Wharf or someone sitting in their underwear while scanning charts on TikTok. Well, I guess that lets you know exactly what they think of you on these news sites. Everyone that's partaking in these short sales with GameStop are a bunch of basement-dwelling trolls. It's not like any of us actually have jobs and want to spend the money how we see fit. So that brings us to closing thoughts, I guess. what exactly are we supposed to do? So we're being told we cannot freely trade on apps that claim you're allowed to freely trade. What is it that the regular person is supposed to do about this? Because obviously it's upsetting some of us. I have no intention of buying the stock. Right now it's at the peak. I'm not spending $300 on GameStop. I don't think I've walked into one in years. But it's the principle of the idea. There doesn't seem to be any recourse. Now I've read that there are some class action lawsuits that are happening now. They're suing Robinhood for limiting the amount of stock you're able to buy, claiming it's unethical and things like that. But in the grand scheme of things, I gotta imagine that these people will just be able to pay out whatever a class action lawsuit rules and just move on with their lives. How many people are gonna spend or lose a lot of their savings trying to hold the line with the rest of us that are trying to stick it to these hedge fund owners? So back to, what are we supposed to do? I don't know. Maybe leave a message in the comments if you have any ideas, or if you have any corrections to what I've been saying today. I'd like to learn more about this. I certainly don't know everything, and I've been proven wrong in the past. But a common phrase I hear is to contact your congressman. They haven't done anything in, I don't know, pick a year. Pick a year. They haven't done anything in a long time. We get a lot of, I see a lot of clips of senators being very long-winded, but support in Congress is at an all-time low. Is it in the teens of percent? Faith in Congress. I gotta believe they're not going to do anything. So Congress isn't going to do anything. What are we supposed to do? Well, it's just another day in this grand adventure we call life, I guess. So don't forget to like and subscribe. If my 7-year-old was here, or almost 7-year-old, he'd be the one telling you to do that, but he's not here with me today. Go ahead and leave a comment and let me know if I got anything wrong, what you'd like to see, what you didn't like. Criticism is the bumpy road to perfection. So this is Dave from Sarkman Gaming, and have an enjoyable rest of the day.